Cornacchia and Ted Nolan, rivals from over 20 years ago when they both coached against one another in the Ontario Hockey League in Canada. Move ahead to the 2012 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship in Stockholm, and it's Nolan, a former NHL Coach of the Year, behind the bench for Latvia, and Cornacchia leading Italy.
Rick Cornacchia, the first thing that comes out of my mind is he's full of energy, he's very competitive, and he wants to win, and his teams are always prepared.
Well, he's first of all, you know, he's very, very intense. He brings it all. He expects a lot from his players. He demands that they work really hard. And they're intense, and he's certainly very intense. And he's well prepared, and he's a pro.
And the question that just has to be asked, would either of them, all those years ago, have believed that they'd be coaching against one another in a World Hockey Championship?
Are you completely out of your mind? I'm going where? And I'm sure Ted would have told you the same thing. I'm going where? Well, you know, he's had a distinguished NHL career. He's coached in the National Hockey League, was Coach of the Year in the National Hockey League, and so forth. I think that probably the last place he would have thought that he was going to be was in Latvia.
I would never ever thought of it in a million years that I would be coaching over here at the World Championships in Sweden, and coaching a team like Latvia against Italy, who's coached by Rick Cornacchia. So it's you just never know how the bridges reconnect down the road, and like I said, I'm quite sure when we played each other again, rivalry will start back up a little bit for those 20 minutes, and after that we'll be cordial once again.
Oh, and it was quite a rivalry indeed. The Oshawa Generals were defending league champions. They had a very young Eric Lindros in the lineup, and the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds defeated them in a punishing 6-game series. What a rivalry it was, and it's hard to believe that it was 21 years ago.
Yeah, I think there was always that heated rivalry between us, but I think there was, as all coaches, you have a mutual respect for one another too. So I respected how he worked his team, and hopefully he respected the way we worked our team. So it was a lot of fun, though. It really was.
Well, you know what? You compete, and you compete. I mean, you ask your players to compete, and you as coaches compete, and that's normal in a situation. So, you know, you may yell and scream and carry on, but at the end of the day, if there's respect for each other, respect for his team and his coaching and so forth, and so you always want to win. Obviously, that's part of the deal. But
as for the game, well, it was what it was. Latvia won 5-0. Both men have coached thousands of games, and both will coach many more. What was special about this one was the moment in time. Two guys crossing paths all these years later in circumstances they never could have imagined, and appreciating it.
And I'm always doing that. I'm always reminiscing about things that and appreciating where you are at the moment. We have an Ojibwe word in our language. It's nangwa, which means now. And I've always enjoyed the now. And I'm enjoying it during this interview, and during that game against Italy tomorrow, or when we play them, I'm going to be enjoying that moment also.